Amelia was a scholar, a dreamer, and a professional caffeinator. To the casual observer, her desk was a place of study. To Amelia, it was a museum of beverage history. At any given moment, 3 different mugs, one for morning coffee, one for midday matcha, and one for academic emergency espresso, sat amidst her scattered notes like ceramic monuments to her productivity. The problem wasn't that Amelia didn't like cleaning, it was just that the mugs had a way of wandering off. They followed her into the bathroom during her morning routine. They migrated to the shoe rack while she checked the mail. They settled into the cushions of the sofa during late-night movie marathons. Each one was left behind like a breadcrumb, marking a trail of her daily travels. Amelia, Calliope said, holding the ceramic artifact with the tips of her fingers as if it were a biohazard. I think the coffee in this mug is trying to register for classes. It's grown legs. Amelia looked up from her laptop, blinking as if she had just emerged from a deep cave. She hadn't realized that the kitchen cabinets were now entirely empty of anything with a handle. Calliope, Amelia's roommate, was the first to discover that the mugs were starting to develop their own ecosystems. While looking for the TV remote behind a potted fern, she found a striped mug containing a substance that could only be described as sentient fuzz. It wasn't just a stain anymore, it was a science project. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. Amelia went to the kitchen for her morning caffeine fix only to find that every single mug in the apartment was currently in the field. Desperate and vibrating with the need for tea, she was forced to improvise. She stood in the kitchen, staring at the only clean vessel left, a giant, stainless steel soup ladle. That night, Amelia's conscience finally caught up with her in the form of a vivid dream. She was trapped in a giant dishwasher, and all her mugs were there, too. But they weren't empty anymore. They had tiny, angry faces and ceramic arms, pointing at her and chanting about the injustice of being left under the bed for 3 weeks. Amelia woke up in a cold sweat. She realized that if she didn't act fast, the ceramic colony would eventually take over the lease and kick her out. She grabbed a laundry basket, the only thing big enough for the job, and began a search and rescue mission. She found mugs in the closet, mugs behind the toaster, and even one lurking inside a discarded boot. Calliope joined in to help with the drying, impressed by the sudden archaeological excavation of their kitchen. As they worked, they reached an agreement, the one-mug rule. From now on, a mug could only exist in the wild for the duration of its contents. Once the bottom appeared, it had to return to its ancestral home in the sink. The Great Wash began at noon. It was a rhythmic, soapy dance of redemption. Amelia took the lead, scrubbing away the coffee rings of yesteryear and the matcha stains of last month. The steam from the hot water filled the kitchen, smelling faintly of citrus soap and the promise of a fresh start. Now, apartment 4B is a place of peace. The cabinets are full, the sofa cushions are mug-free, and the only things growing in the apartment are the actual plants. Amelia still drinks a lot of coffee, but she does it with one very special, very clean mug. And every time she finishes, she hears the faint, happy clink of a ceramic soul returning to the cupboard.